What if the cost of the humble egg, the pocket-sized protein that powers your pancakes, your post-workout breakfast burrito, even your kid's after-school cupcake project, kept climbing until it stole a bigger bite out of your paycheck than your streaming subscriptions combined? Imagine reaching for a carton on an ordinary Wednesday only to find it tagged like a delicacy, down a bit from March's eye-watering $6.23, but still a hefty $5.12 a dozen. That sliver of relief is real, yet fleeting, one tiny dip on a graph that still hovers near the top of a dizzying peak. Before you shrug and say prices always bounce, ask yourself what the sticker shock is really signaling about the supply chains and viral threats that stand between you and tomorrow's breakfast. Families who once cracked eggs without a thought now do the mental math every grocery run, and the consequences of ignoring that tension ripple far beyond the kitchen. Let the problem fester and cafes start rewriting menus, bakeries quietly shrink portions, school districts scramble for substitutes, and the burden lands hardest on households already stretched by rent and gas. Drift a few months ahead. If another wave of avian influenza slashes flocks, that $5 carton could leap again, dragging inflation headlines back above the fold. Drift backward. The 79% surge since last April didn't just squeeze wallets, it reset expectations, turning a staple into a semi-luxury. Inflation data feeds algorithmic trading, wage negotiations, and policy debates, meaning today's seemingly modest grocery gripe can snowball into tomorrow's macroeconomic migraine. Need a tangible picture of how fragile the system is? Look at Ohio and South Dakota, where a pair of April outbreaks wiped out over 927,000 hens in a single swoop, millions of potential breakfasts gone overnight, barns left silent. Farmers facing months of cleanup before a single chick returns. Zoom out to early 2022, more than 169 million birds culled nationwide, each sick hen forcing the destruction of her entire flock to halt the virus's march. That's why supermarket shelves looked patchy last winter and why restaurant owners hedged with powdered substitutes or simply yanked egg-centric dishes. Every lost flock ripples outward in freight schedules, feed contracts, and insurance payouts, an invisible web that ultimately reappears as the grim little price tag in front of you. Relief is arriving in careful increments. Seasonal demand eases after Easter, allowing farms and wholesalers to rebuild inventories. Outbreak counts have dropped from 59 in February to just 3 in April, giving producers breathing room. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, urged on by a White House determined to tame breakfast inflation, has steered $1 billion toward tighter on-farm biosecurity, disinfectant corridors, upgraded ventilation, stricter visitor logs. Imports are also cushioning supply. Egg shipments from South Korea, Turkey, and Brazil surged 77% in the first quarter. Throw in fresh antitrust scrutiny of Cal-Maine Foods, which controls about a fifth of U.S. production, and you have a multi-pronged push to pry prices lower. But stability is fragile. A single mutation in the virus or a lapse in farm protocol could light the fuse again. Consider that every replacement pullet takes roughly a year to reach peak laying age, meaning an outbreak today is still echoing in next year's grocery budget. Imports offer insurance, yet they expose us to distant disease dynamics and shipping bottlenecks. And while robots scrub hatcheries and drones scan barns for temperature spikes, no technology guarantees a virus-free future. We're balanced on a ledge between optimism and relapse, and the next gust may come with hurricane force just as summer grilling stokes egg supply pressure for mayonnaise and bakery fillings. Dear viewers, how has this roller coaster price ride reshaped your grocery game? Did you swap scrambled eggs for oats, hunt wholesale clubs for bulk bargains, or master the art of flax, eggs, in baking? Share your best strategies in the comments. Your tip could spare another family from sticker shock breakfasts, and next week we'll feature the most ingenious hacks on the channel. By speaking up, you join a community that turns personal penny pinching into crowdsourced resilience, and you'll never miss our real-time alerts on supply swings or new USDA moves. Long-term resilience starts at 3 levels. Producers need fortress-grade biosecurity, perimeter fencing, mandatory downtime between barn entries, rapid on-site PCR testing, and contingency contracts for incineration and composting. Policymakers must streamline indemnity payments so farmers can cull without financial ruin and return faster. Consumers, meanwhile, can diversify diets, rotating in plant-based proteins, buying frozen or powdered eggs that have longer shelf lives, and supporting local pasture-raised operations whose smaller flocks cut epidemiological risk. Retailers can smooth price shocks with transparent variable pricing and loyalty program discounts that pass savings on quickly when wholesale costs fall. Pulling these levers together plants the seeds of a future where an egg once again feels like a given, not a gamble. If we build redundancy into supply chains, tighten farm defenses, and stay nimble as shoppers, each price dip can become a stair-step toward genuine affordability instead of a temporary plateau. Stick with this channel and you'll get alerts the moment outbreak data flips, plus deep dives on how currency moves or feed corn futures might nudge your next grocery bill. Hit subscribe for that edge. And so we land on a guarded optimism. April's 12.7% drop was the steepest since 1984, a number worth celebrating, but only if we remember how quickly the graph can pivot. Keep an eye on early summer demand and those scattered flu reports. A calm May doesn't guarantee a calm July. Until then, crack wisely, spend consciously, and know that every informed choice echoes up the supply chain. Thanks for watching. See you next time.